Bluetti Elite 100 V2 is the latest little power station on Bluetti's roster. It's lightweight, has a big inverter, and has tons of plug options for a unit this size. And it looks very similar to Bluetti's Elite 200, which actually really impressed us recently on the channel. So the big question is, can they keep up the momentum with this all-new power station? So welcome back to the lab where our opinions cannot be bought. A lot of times when you're hunting for a power station for emergency backup power or camping, brand loyalty plays a pretty big part in your decision. There's a ton of units in this small power station space, but a lot of you guys have been loving Bluetti and asking us to review more of their products. And if this one can perform the way that Bluetti advertises it, it might just be a really good purchase. But as always, before we jump into our experience with this unit, we do have links in the description down below, as well as any coupon codes that we can get out of Bluetti for you guys. We also have a link to our quiz, which Tiny Baby built, that gives you an instant recommendation for a power station that we actually recommend based on your needs. But before we get any further, we're gonna hit you with a super quick spec teardown in case you're not already familiar with Bluetti's new Elite 100. First up, this thing passes the Tiny Baby lift test. It only weighs about 25 pounds, basically the size of his bicep. It's got a 1024 watt hour lithium iron phosphate battery and an 1800 watt inverter. In terms of getting power into this guy, you can charge it with a regular house outlet in your home at about 1200 watts. In our testing, it charged in 1 hour and 39 minutes from 0 to full, which is a little slow. You can also charge it with a 1000 watt solar plug, which is actually really good compared to the battery size. That'll let you charge this thing with solar in just over 1 hour. When you take a look at the design on this thing, you have 4 120 volt regular house plugs on the front. You have 2 USBs and 2 USB-Cs, one of which is 140 watts, the other one is 100 watts. You have a 12 volt car socket, 2 barrel connectors, which I don't know why they keep putting barrel.
They all do it.
Nobody loves barrel connectors.
They all do it.
And behind this flap right here is your solar input. And then on the side here, you have your AC input. That's where you plug it into just a regular plug in your house. A little grounding screw, not super necessary on a small power station. The screen is nice and bright and clear, easy to use. It's got a little handle on the back. It's a little heavy for the handle that they have, but it works fine. Overall, it's clean. It looks pretty good. It does have an app. The app lets you do classic turn on and off your inverters from a distance. It lets you change a couple settings that you don't get to change directly from the unit, but nothing crazy. And right now, with our discount code, you can get this thing for $425, which is actually a really competitive price for a unit of this size. As we already kind of talked about, the first thing that we really like with this Elite 100 V2 is the 1000 watt solar input. Having a solar input the size of your battery capacity is huge. A lot of power station companies give you like a 400 watt solar input with a 2000 watt hour battery. So the fact that this can charge with solar in 1 hour is really, really nice, especially if you're camping or just in an emergency situation. You only need a 1 hour window of sun to fully recharge this. So we really like that. Bluetti also has an alternator charger, which is a cool pro if you're using this for overlanding or in a van or something like that. You can hook the alternator charger up to this guy and charge it while you're driving. We also really like the performance in our testing here at the lab. This guy was about 80% efficient, which is pretty good. That's like our benchmark for an A. It also, when it came to idle consumption, only used about 16 watts per hour just being on idling. It'll last about 2.5 days on a single charge with the AC inverter just on running, which is not bad. It also runs loads right at its limit very, very easily. It has no problem doing it, and it surges really well. They have something called 2700 watts of lifting power. Basically, it manipulates voltage a little bit, but it allows you to run things at a little bit of a higher output than 1800 watts, but not forever. It's not like EcoFlow's X-Boost, where it'll just continuously run things at throttled voltage. It'll run things for a short amount of time at 2700 watts. It's okay, but the point is, it surged really, really well in our testing. It did up to 3100 watts of surging for a couple seconds, and it would do the 2800 watt surge just over and over and over and over again for like a minute at a time. We also like that most of the plugs and everything is on the front of this unit. The only thing that's not is the AC input, which is on the side. But if you're charging it overlanding or something, you have it in the back of your car shoved underneath the pile of stuff, you can still charge it and discharge it all from the front of the unit, which means you can basically have this thing anywhere. You don't need access to all sides of it like you do with a lot of other power stations. And the last two things that we really like is, one, the price. Normally we compare things to Pecron. This exact same version in Pecron is like $399. This one's $425. So this is like almost coming in as a budget option, but it still performs really well and is a really good name brand unit. We also like the customer support. Bluetti has people giving customer support when we called in. They were able to give us an accurate recommendation of a unit we might need. And when we emailed support asking some questions about why the unit was doing things it was doing, they gave us legible responses in a really good time frame. So good job. Takes a lot to actually do that, as we've learned.
Good job, Bluetti.
As always though, not every power station is perfect. And in our opinion, you guys already have to see this coming. For a small little unit like this that you're gonna use for camping, there's no light. A light on a unit is a huge bonus, especially when it's meant to be taken around and used for emergencies or camping uses. Having a light would be sick. Bluetti,
please put a light on it.
the other thing is the plug spacing. I actually really like the top to bottom, like vertical plug spacing. I think that's good. The one thing that kind of sucks is side to side, they are still pretty close. If you plug in something bulky like a camera battery charger, it overlaps the plug beside it, which just sucks a little bit. It's always kind of a buzzkill when you plug something in and it overlaps another plug. Not a huge deal, but something to note. And the last thing that we didn't really like was that it takes a while to get this unit charging. It has a 1200 watt charge rate, but it took till like 20% battery to get it there. Everything under 20%, it only charged at about 500 watts. Normally, power stations will jump right in. They'll start charging super fast right away, and then near the end of their charging cycle, they kind of dwindle down the power. This one started low and ended low, so even though it has a pretty good input of 1200 watts for a 1000 watt hour battery, it still took an hour and 39 minutes to fully charge it. So we did ask Bluetti, they said it's normal, kind of a little bit of a buzzkill, but an hour and 39 is not terrible, I guess. So at the end of the day, we actually really like this little Bluetti Elite 100 V2, especially for the price. Hopefully Bluetti keeps releasing units that are on this trend of actually being good quality units that we recommend. But at this time, this is a pretty budget friendly unit that we would recommend to you guys. And make sure you guys check out the quiz if you're still kind of hung up on what power station might be best for you. Otherwise, that's all we got for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. We will catch you in the next one. Peace out and stay charged.